Hey everybody, it's Cross Promo Show. This is Kevin.
I'm Chris.
Just wanted to actually say a few things, just say one thing real quick before we get started with anything. We have lost a legend today, Steve Mongo McMichael of WCW and of the Chicago Bull. I'm sorry, not Chicago Bull, Chicago Bears NFL team has passed away today. So we want to do a tribute in memoriam to him, and then we'll get on with the show. So if we can just have a moment of silence and a cross promo 10 bell salute. Just realizing that the sound was off. We're still learning this whole thing. It's a whole new week for us. Sorry about that. So again,
He's Kevin. I'm Chris.
we're the Cross Promo Pro Wrestling Podcast. All right. We're a bit rusty, so we're going to get through this, okay, folks? All right. Let me just pull this down here. Trying to work these over. All right, so like I said, we're going to be going over everything tonight with what has happened with AEW Dynamite. So we'll have Chris go ahead and go over the recap. Go ahead, Chris, while I work everything.
Attempt to, anyway. Well, you had the Ops, that is like Samoa Joe's group, come out and for their celebration, but it was interrupted by the Death Riders attacking them. And then you also had Swerve, Kenny Omega, and the Elite, and I think it was Okada come out.
Yeah, if anyone's confused on
There was a lot of guys.
anything that Chris has said, let me just help out here.
Yeah, 'cause
All those guys were involved
Yeah.
in the opening.
The notes on that one, I'm sorry, like, there was a lot going on. And
It was chaotic the first go around. The opening.
It was. Then after that, you had a promo kind of backstage with the Patriarchy, talking about Nick Wayne's recent win. the title win,
Right.
where you had Christian taking the credit for that win, and also looking like there's a bit of tension going on between Wayne and Christian. Not really sure if that's going to end up exploding at some point or not, but it kind of looks like it.
Okay.
See, then we had, after that, our first match of the night, which was Ricochet and Mark Briscoe, with Ricochet winning. During that, towards the end of that match, you had Ricochet attempting to use the rope, so I think he's gone heel. It's safe to say he's gone heel at this point.
Pretty much.
And Mark then reversed that and used that to get the pin. He didn't use the ropes, but he reversed that specific move. After the match, you had Ricochet getting a chair and attacking Mark. Oh, you're trying to say attacking Mark at the same time. With a chair. Then after that, he went and got like some gold scissors, and Kevin Knight came out and prevented the use of said scissors. Just noticed you didn't change the picture for that.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to figure out why we're all so blurry here. If we are blurry, we're sorry. Again,
The
working
camera's
with
got
a new
like,
with a new webcam and setup and everything.
it's got like this weird autofocus thing. I don't know.
All right. So, where were we?
That just finished the Ricochet Briscoe match.
Okay.
Next up, we have the FTR promo with Stokely Hathaway.
Oh, hang on. Stokely Hathaway comes out.
And he introduced FTR, where he basically took their side, saying that he's going to be their agent. And he said that they shouldn't be punished since we've seen a lot worse things, apparently. Including arson by Adam Page. And apparently even like terrorism. Well,
From Moxley.
does that count though?
Irritatingly so, yes.
Let's see. Then you had them. Then you had Cash Wheeler.
Yep.
If I remember right. I remembered it earlier, but over here drawing blanks now. Let's see. Then you had him try and defend what they did to Danny Garcia, and then after that you had
Cope.
and Cope, and it's like, I mean, again, I still don't get who is disrespecting them, you know? But, see, then you had Dax Harwood mess with the Rock and Roll Express, who was in the crowd, and he started asking them questions before answering for them, cutting them off, and even insulting them with a few of the questions. Then after that, it's at some point, like during the third question, after that third question, the Rock and Roll Express, one of the members decided that was enough, and that ended up breaking up into a short fight because FTR basically just jumped him. Then you had Paragon, which looks like Adam Cole's new faction group thing.
They got a new name. He
Yeah.
went from...
No More Kingdom. It looks like it's just...
No, it was a different kingdom, a different name. It was like Undisputed Kingdom,
Yeah.
and now it's Paragon.
Yeah, but now it's...
Now it's a shape. It's a geometry shape.
It's got
A Paragon.
Yeah, couldn't even be a...
Or am I thinking Polygon? Anyway.
Yeah.
Wasn't
But
good at math.
I don't even know what shape that would look like. But you had Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong teaming with him, so he's still teaming with Adam Cole. That they stopped that fight there. Well, they came out after the fight anyway, after the fact.
Right.
Then after that, we had our second match, which was the Young Bucks and Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight. See, there was this one part with like kip ups and
There was
them
it was
laying down.
okay. I'm not gonna Jim Cornette this, but I mean it was a great match by all
Eventually,
four
I'm gonna
guys.
gaslight him into Jim Cornetting this,
He is.
just like what I do with Logan Paul all the time.
Oh good God! Don't do that.
Oh,
Anyway,
and the triple threat matches.
Anyway, we had all four great. All 4 competitors were great. Okay, I'm gonna say that they did great, but it was just so much going on. You had so many aerial things, which we already know Kevin Knight and Bailey are good for, as well as the Young Bucks. But there were a lot of super kicks. There were a lot of kick ups. And then I don't know if it was Matt or Nick, but with Mike Bailey kicking each other at the same time and knocking each other out twice in a row. I mean,
kicking up back after,
doing a kick up,
it's like,
and then kicking each other again.
yeah. And then at some point there was this weird thing where they sat on each other's shoulders, but
We couldn't. It was like they were fighting at the pool, and
the teams got confusing during that. It really did.
the whole thing got confusing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a good match. I'll give him that, but I was confused, thoroughly confused.
During that match, you had some interference by Ricochet, which ended up helping one of the Young Bucks. Again, I don't know which, but they ended up pinning Kevin Knight and picking up the win there.
Okay.
After that, you had Toni Storm promo where she said something about an eliminator match on Collision.
Right.
And I think it was Queen Aminata said something.
I used to when we first started, started calling her Queen Amidala because it was. I mean, give me a break. It was close, right? You all were doing it at home. Queen Aminata, whatever. Anyway, go ahead.
Let's see. Then you had the Hurt Syndicate promo after that, where you had them coming out to celebrate or something, and then on like the Titantron, right? It was the
Titantron.
Yeah, it was the big screens, and MJF was arriving with this car that he would later use to try and convince Bobby Lashley.
Okay, hang on. You're skipping through it a little too quickly. You're NXTing it.
Yeah.
Okay. So
again, NXT went by quick.
MJF comes strolling up into his car, and does the Bangkok thing to a guy.
Take a bow.
The take a bow thing. Comes out to the
ring.
ring and is like, I know everyone else knows. Last week you had a good week, had an amazing night, and of course it was the women that MJF, had presented to them, and I'm looking at chat. And so into the chat on our Twitch chat. By the way, you can definitely find us right now live, YouTube, Twitch.
I should find a way to
and Kick.
The notes.
But MJF still trying to convince them to get the 3 thumbs up. He gets a thumbs up from Shelton Benjamin and MVP. He's trying to get Bobby Lashley, and then he tries to convince him with his car.
He stole the car.
Basically, Bobby Lashley just took the car and drove off.
And he's like, you're supposed to give
and
the
Shelton
thumbs up
Benjamin
first.
just drove off, and that left MVP there just to kind of console MJF for like, hey, thanks for the car. I know it's
free car.
we got a free car. Sorry, buddy. I gotta say, these segments between the Hurt Syndicate and MJF, I'm loving them. It's hilarious because he's trying to get into the Hurt Syndicate, and he already won MVP over right off the bat, and then trying to get Shelton Benjamin, and he already won Shelton Benjamin over by last week, and now he's desperately trying to win over Bobby Lashley. It's going to take a lot.
To the point of losing a car.
Yeah.
And that was an expensive looking car.
It was too. And and remember what I was telling you, he's going to be doing one of these, Bobby Lashley. He's going to be doing one. Well, hang on. I'm looking at the camera. He's going to be doing one of these.
I used to always have with the off-screen hand.
Yeah. Well, because we're sitting in different positions now. Because I have to man the controls a little bit over here now. But Bobby Lashley do this and then give him the bird. I want to see that happen.
And then it's at that point that the little rivalry there ends up exploding, and they have a match after that or something. I think that would be cool.
That I would actually enjoy. Yes. All right. Go ahead and go on.
Then you had Hangman Adam Page backstage talking about his place in the Owen Hart tournament at Double or Nothing, that match there. Then you had MJF come on and insult him, basically saying something about his haircut and how it looks like he something about a family reunion.
Right.
And I found that funny.
that was funny, but then also, I mean, as much as I don't like Hangman Adam Page, yes, I don't like him. Sorry. Not sorry.
I'm gonna have to make you talk at length about that.
He said, "Why do you just go for the night? Just get in your car and oh, that's right."
You don't have one anymore.
Exactly. He kind of threw it back
stolen.
at MJF and just said, "Oh, that's right. You don't have a car. You're gonna have to get an Uber."
That would be funny. Let's see. Then we had Will Ospreay and Brody King teaming against Josh Alexander and Takeshita, where during that match you had interference from Lance Archer because he's with that group with Don Callis.
He's in the Don Callis family, yes.
That match ended after the interference,
Right.
where you had Josh pinning Brody King, and then they attacked, the losing team. Don Callis' team attacked the losing team, and at some point Kyle Fletcher came out.
It was pretty much the whole entire Don Callis family just jumping the both of them.
Yeah. And then after Kyle Fletcher came out, Hangman came out, then Trent Beretta and Rocky Romero, and
it started to become a whole thing like...
It was like the opening promo all over again.
Where we're getting too many people in the ring and causing way too much confusion.
Yeah. But Beretta and Romero attacked Hangman, and then they started going back to attacking King and Will.
Right.
Then after that, you had your main event match, which was Statlander and Jamie Hayter for the Owen Hart tournament. Winner goes against Monet. I think at the it's sometime.
Okay.
I don't really get notes about what match happens after that or when.
But it is to face Monet for the Owen Hart tournament, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That part I got.
I mean, it was a pretty decent match, I thought. I would say we give that one match of the night, and that says something right now. All three match of the nights, all women.
Yeah. You had Jamie Hayter pinning Statlander, and then after that, Mercedes Moné came out.
What match of the night would you give?
I don't know. I'd have to say that last one.
Because we had a discussion about it, and we couldn't pick one. Not that it was good matches to pick from. Most of the matches were a bit eh.
They weren't good or bad.
Yeah. But the one that we decided upon was the main event match.
I feel like that was the easiest to understand of the matches.
How so?
Because with the other ones, you had all these people coming out.
No one can...
Sorry. Let's see. Yeah, I think that was the easiest to understand, like with the least interference and weird, tag team. Why are they teaming up on each other's shoulders or whatever?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right then. So that pretty much is AEW Dynamite. Pretty quick summary, I think. But
that might be one of the fastest summaries we've done in a while.
Pretty much, because I mean, it seems to be the same old kind of stuff. But what they're doing is they're gearing up for not only the Owen Hart tournament at Double or Nothing, but they are
that explains why there wasn't like 20 multi-man matches.
Yeah. What they're also gearing up for is All In at Texas at
somewhere in Texas.
It's the where the Texas Rangers play over in Arlington, which is like a hop, skip, and a jump away from us. So
I like how I can say it's in Texas and still be just vague.
Very vague. You forget how big the state is, son.
Yeah.
It's like saying I'm in New York.
New York, New York, or New York
Where,
the
and if you say in New York City, then you're like, where in New York City? Because it's a big city.
state?
You can't be at some, one street light kind of town and say,
I'm in New York City where they did all the Marvel movies.
oh, yeah, that's vague too, because it's like, which one?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get on with the news because we got four news stories. And
I can't read along this time because he took notes on them. So
yeah, I took notes. So
Unless I
to kick
just
things
look over his
off,
shoulder.
yeah. Well, to kick things off, it starts with Randy Orton.
What did he do?
It was during WrestleMania weekend, and he met and this has gone viral. Okay, if you haven't seen the video, find it anywhere you can find on social media. By the way,
Anywhere you could find your videos.
we are also on social media as well. You can find us.
We also have social media.
Yeah, we have. Where can they find us?
We're like the places we're streaming right now: Kick, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Threads was.
We have a Threads. Yeah. No, we also have. We're still on TikTok.
Yeah.
That's how we get the word out that we're live or upcoming episode or anything like that. But also, see, I'm not happy with how blurry we're looking on the live. I'm sorry if we're looking very blur. I can't even talk. Burly. But we'll get this all fixed. And we'll get, because it's a work in progress, so you gotta give us a break on that. We used to do the audio, and now we want to take it a step up and do audio and video. So, anyway, back to the Randy Orton story. He's right here. There he is. Because he can't come out of nowhere. Will you stop? I assure you, there is a graphic there.
All right. I'll figure out how to see it at some point.
Anyway, there's a video that has gone viral, and it's involving Randy Orton to where right now it's in regards to the ticket prices for WrestleMania. Okay, so he met a female fan. This was, I think, after night one. And she had got a photo op and everything with him because he was in the middle of a hotel. He was going somewhere and his wife was with him. Where I'm like, if they're spending time with their family trying to take a break or whatever, just say hi. Don't do a video or photo op. They're human beings, for crying out loud. I'm just looking at the thing here. Okay, I don't know. Anyway, so moving right along. So the discussion, I guess, came up that she had got her tickets for, I guess, her and her family or whatever at the lower bowl section of the stadium, and she mentioned exactly what section, and it was C135. The section where she was going to be sitting, where she sat for night one, and she's going to be sitting for night two. In Randy Orton, not familiar with distance of seating or whatever, is asking about how far away from the front row, and she said they're not on that her seats are not on the floor at all, and then mentioned that the seats were $30,000.
30,000?
And that's the look that Randy Orton gave. That is the exact look that he gave.
30,000. Oof.
He simply replied to this saying, and you look at the video, and I'm going to quote, "That's embarrassing, to be honest. So much money for a seat. $30,000.
Yeah. That's funny.
But
The fact that he was surprised about it too.
I know, but you gotta think of it this way: WrestleMania is like the Super Bowl of WWE, of professional wrestling. You can't get any bigger than that. So tickets are going to be really pretty. It's going to be really high price. Now, if you were to look at the ticket prices now compared to, I think I showed you one. It was a comparison. WrestleMania 17 when it was in Houston, and the main event was Rock and Austin for the WWE title. And I guess it was what was it? It was like a no disqualification match, and it was a really good match. But the ticket prices then were like 100 something, compared to now where they're like, you want ringside seats, you better sell a damn kid of yours.
At
You
least
know,
a kidney or something. I don't know.
some body part, you know. But that's gone viral. A lot of people are thinking that Randy Orton's going to get a little bit of, and no pun intended, but backlash from these comments about the ticket prices. Do I know?
Looked like the stream froze for a second.
No, nothing froze. We're good. All right. So for the next story, it involves Medusa. If you remember her, she was a former female wrestler. She went under a different name. I forget her other name that she went under in WWE, but in WCW, she was known by Alundra Blaze. That was her name. In WCW, she was known as Medusa. And she was really good friends with Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman kind of helped her throughout her career, and I believe she wrestled at a time for for ECW, but definitely WCW. She was the one that did the when she had jumped ship from WWE.
The belt in the trash can.
The belt in the trash can. Very good. See, you're learning from your history. I'm teaching him so well. I'm so proud of him. Makes me want to cry. Anywho, well, she is now in the news because of what has happened as of late after Raw. Of course, you had Becky Lynch do a heel turn, and her husband, that everyone knows that it's her husband, Seth Rollins, has gone heel as well with Braun Breaker at his side and Paul Heyman as his manager. A lot of people are thinking, well, Becky Lynch could be the very first Paul Heyman girl. Medusa has something else to say about that. So
You lost the spot.
I lost my spot. So I'm trying to get some backstory on who said Brian Alvarez, Wrestling Observer's Live's Brian Alvarez said this whole thing was Becky's idea. It was all Becky's idea. Quote, end quote. There was.
So wait, is she going to be joining Seth?
We don't know. A lot of people are saying after turning, it was one popular post that came from at heel Cena. Said, quote, after turning heel, Becky Lynch is expected to become the first Paul Heyman girl. Both Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins together with Paul Heyman as their wise man. That was all well and good to say, because that's what I was thinking too was, okay, Becky's gone heel, Seth has gone heel, and
might as well team up.
Seth's already got Paul Heyman, so have Paul Heyman manage Becky Lynch and be the mouthpiece for Becky Lynch, you know. Make a whole new faction, because he had his time with the Bloodline. And if you are real dedicated wrestling fans, will know of Paul Heyman's other faction, the Dangerous Alliance, because he went by the name of WCW as Paulie Dangerously. So he made the Dangerous Alliance, and Steve Austin, Stone Cold Steve Austin, was a part of that group at one point. Alundra Blaze, a.k.a. Medusa, she went on Twitter and gave a sharp
Twitter
reminder.
formerly X.
Well, she gave a reminder. You better quote. You better check your wrestling history because she was a Paul Heyman girl before anyone. So if anyone says that Becky Lynch is the first one, you're going to have Alundra Blaze down your throat going, I was the first one, not Becky Lynch. So possibly you could have possible rivalry there, maybe,
Does Blaze still
between
wrestle?
Alundra Blaze and
Or would it be like
Becky
some other
Lynch?
thing?
Possibly. Maybe.
Maybe.
Okay, we'll have fun with that.
Maybe like a promo battle or something, but I don't know. But like, does she still wrestle or is she retired?
She's retired. She is a Hall of Famer.
Uh,
Next news. It was actually quite confusing because it came out earlier in the day today, and then someone came back and kind of corrected it. And it involves some backstory. So, one big announcement that was announced Saturday that WWE has acquired AAA Wrestling. That's based in Mexico. A lot of Lucha Libre that is going to be coming to WWE, including Worlds Collide. That's going to be a PLE event that's going to be happening, and it's going to take place in Los Angeles, where the original AAA Worlds Collide happened. And if we remember, and it's one of my favorite matches that came from that event, and that was Pentagon Jr. or Octagon Jr., I'm sorry, and I forget the other guy's name, but he was the son of a legendary luchador against Art Barr and Eddie Guerrero. And they had a best 2 out of 3 falls tag match. And it was a hair versus mask. And, of course, Art Barr and Eddie lost. And that's why you see Eddie with a buzz cut in like the early 90s, is because he lost his hair in that match. So, that's coming back around. I'm excited for it because we're going to see different styles of wrestling. Of course, I mean, it lives up to the name, Worlds Collide. So, we'll go from there. But there has been one kind of thing that everyone has been in the back of their minds, and that's Alberto Del Rio, former WWE wrestler, also has been wrestling for AAA for some time. He's got a past, and not a good one, both in and out of the ring. Out of the ring because he had at once dated Saraya, or Paige, as we know her. And they had a messy breakup. Saraya had went off and said that, you know, he's abusive, he's very controlling, all that kind of stuff. And there have been many women that have backed that claim up and have said the same thing. He's a little abusive and he's very controlling. Well, a lot of people have been kind of wondering, is he going to be a part of this whole thing? And then there were rumors going around that he got released from AAA. So that way there's no black eye, so to speak, on WWE for acquiring AAA.
yeah.
It's kind of a play on words when we saw that news because it was AAA got acquired by Triple H, you know.
Oh yeah.
Triple H. We had too much fun talking about it. We had too much
Almost
fun.
forgot about that.
We were like kids, ridiculous kids. Well, there was rumors going around that AAA had pretty much put the boots to Del Rio and said, you know, deuces, get out. Deuces. But a lot of people have reached out to Del Rio and his people. Forgot to switch that over.
That must have been confusing.
That was, because you see Becky Lynch and we're talking about Alberto Del Rio. Sorry. Again, we're rusty, trying to get this whole system down. But at least we're somewhat entertaining. We hope.
All right.
All right. So there was a lot going on saying that, you know, he got booted. He got booted out of AAA because of his behavior. And then there's this incident that had gotten him suspended for 180 days by the Tijuana Wrestling Commission, the TWC. It was an out of control altercation that happened at a wrestling event, at a AAA wrestling
He
event.
started randomly fighting a fan.
Well, this is according to Rob Viper, that Del Rio had lost a match, and don't know if this is part of the storyline or not, but started to throw a fit and get a temper and lost it because he lost,
He attacked the referee.
and tried to jump the guardrail to confront someone that was in the crowd.
I was joking.
That had failed, and he found an entry. He just climbed over the barricade and then threw a chair at someone that you didn't see off camera. Well, the fan that he was trying to throw the chair to had retaliated by throwing a chair at Del Rio,
Terrified.
and it hit Del Rio in the head, and it just went into this full brawl.
Chair fight.
Now, during this whole entire thing, there have been reports that a elderly woman that was there at the event was struck by a flying chair and had to be taken to the hospital. When this all stemmed from Del Rio, the Tijuana Wrestling Commission just said, "You know what? We're going to have to suspend you for 180 days. You cannot wrestle anywhere in Mexico or for AAA because of your actions." And an innocent, fan gets hit by a chair.
Yeah.
That's what the whole thing with Stone Cold Steve Austin hitting the barricade with the ATV, and Nick Khan there trying to kind of
That would
Cool
explain
things.
the reaction to that.
they were trying to prevent any sort of lawsuit, making sure that the young lady that was I guess knocked over or whatever is okay. And there's also video out circulating of that moment too on social media. It was basically the point of view of the person that got knocked over. You're seeing Stone Cold coming around the far side of the ring, and then he's like slowing down a little bit, talking to someone behind or at the broadcast table, and then goes forward and then just hits the barricade. Next thing you know, you're seeing ringside chairs, special ringside chairs, and what looks to be spilled popcorn and drinks on the floor. But back to this.
Hopefully no one got hurt in that.
Hopefully no one did, and no retaliation needed. But this was an update as of 11 o'clock this morning that the Ringside News had confirmed the quote-unquote report about AAA releasing Del Rio was a parody account on Twitter posing as a wrestling news source.
So he's not released.
So he's not released. A lot of people thought it was a legitimate report because the tweet was falsely created. Fightful, another source, Fightful Select. Yeah. But Fightful came back and said, "We never reported this at all." So they're looking into who had made this claim, and if I were them, I'd be running and staying low because Del Rio could be running around somewhere trying to throw a chair at you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
They're going to send the chairman after him. That could be his new gimmick.
The chairman?
Yeah.
The chairman.
Yeah, it's like the trash man. He comes out and throws chairs all over the ring. Right?
No. Just,
No?
No, I wouldn't do that. Don't do that.
No chairman.
Don't turn it into a Sean Spears thing where he hit Cody in the head with the chair and then he claimed, "I'm the chairman now."
He did that.
He did that. It was, you go back on the video, there was he just hit Cody real hard to where Cody fell and he busted him open really bad.
Oof.
And he just went around with a shirt that said, "I'm the chairman now." Meaning that he took out Cody, and Cody was the chairman, and now he's the chairman.
That's funny.
It was a stupid play on words, and I'm glad Shawn Spears is back in WWE, not doing the perfect 10 or the chairman thing now.
Imagine if he brings it back.
Oh, dear God, I hope not.
It's Cody in the chair. Cody in the chair with head again. Wow, that doesn't make any sense.
No, nothing you said that made any sense right now. Anyway,
It didn't. Oof.
so at the top of the show, we did do a 10-bell salute for Steve Mongo McMichael, who has now passed away as of 5. I want to say about around. It was around 5 p.m. this early evening. He had passed away. So I'll just read a little bit of a story here because the first we had heard of the story, McMichael had went into hospice. Now, if any of you are well known with any medical terms and everything like that, hospice basically is the doctors and the medical staff have done everything they could to try to heal you of this life-threatening disease or anything that was life-threatening, and they've done everything they can and they can't do anything else. So the best thing to do is just make you comfortable before you pass away, and that's where the hospice comes in. Now, everyone's asking if you're not familiar with Steve Mongo McMichael. 67 years old. It was the age of when he passed. But he is also a NFL legend and NFL Hall of Famer. Was put into the Hall of Fame, I would say, earlier before the 2024-2025 NFL season. Was put into the Hall of Fame from his hospital bed because, excuse me, McMichael had been diagnosed 4 years prior to have for ALS, or what many have termed Lou Gehrig's disease.
What's that do?
I'm sorry?
What's that do?
I would go into details, but it's one of those you have to kind of look up.
Oh.
Sorry. I wish I had more info for you, but sorry. He had battled that disease for 4 years, and was pretty much bedridden for the last, I want to say, last 3 years. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, used to play for the Chicago Bears and was inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame last year. He was a part of the legendary 85 Bears, the Super Bowl winning 1985 Bears. You had men like Refrigerator Perry and I believe Walter Payton on that team of 85. He became he was one of the fiercest defensive linemen for the Chicago Bears. And was one of the greatest defensives of all time. Now, a lot of people are going that are not familiar with him, going, what does this have to do with professional wrestling? Well, I'm going to tell you. He got the nickname Mongo in football because of, I believe it was Blazing Saddles, that movie. And there was this big, burly guy that just wasn't fazed by anything, and neither was McMichael. He came into the professional wrestling scene into WCW and was a part of the original broadcast team for Monday Night Nitro with Tony Giovanni and I believe it was oh my gosh, I forget the guy's name already. I'm forgetting names nowadays. It's sadly part of being old. but he was a part of of the commentating team, and then graduated into getting into the ring, and became a part of the Four Horsemen with Ric Flair, which was during one of the wildest eras in professional wrestling. Now, usually when patients with ALS are put into hospice, they're automatically given the diagnosis of having 6 months to live. He was, from what I'm understanding, he was put on hospice either this morning or yesterday, sometime yesterday, and it was only a matter of time, and he had passed away at 5 p.m. Our time, Central Standard Time, 5 p.m. our time. Looks like we have frozen.
It's twice now.
Oh, no, now it's fixed. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. I think it could be our internet. I apologize about that, guys. Kind of looking.
Hopefully the sound didn't cut out too.
I highly doubt it. So, again, working with a lot of new equipment here, so we apologize for that. Now, yeah, they gave him 6 months to live, but immediately passed away at the age of 67. All right. Well, it seems like it was a pretty quick episode. We do want to remind everybody we are going we are going to be getting into shape, Chris and I. We call it the cross promo, cross body challenge. Now it's there where we're going to probably do a vlog where you guys will follow us on our journey of me with my weight loss and Chris, I guess, bulking up and getting stronger.
Me, the opposite of weight loss.
Yeah, he's doing the opposite of what I'm doing.
And
I'm
vice
losing
versa.
it, he's gaining it, but in a good way, not in a bad way like I have.
We're gonna get those gains.
Basically, I was his size. When I was 19, I was his size. So, he's going to get the gains, I'm going to lose them. But I'm also going to bulk up with muscle as well and get stronger. But that means I'm having to change my diet. Definitely having to get rid of sodas and junk food and everything like that. So that's going to be a hard task.
Chicken's still fine though.
Chicken, I'm still gonna eat chicken and tuna, but I gotta, and some beef here and there. I can't have too much beef or else my gout flares up. I know, too much information for everybody, but that's what we're planning on doing with that. So that just sums up about everything with Dynamite and what's been going on with us.
And the news.
And the news as well, definitely with the news as well. We'd like to hear from you guys. I know it's still kind of this whole thing of us doing a live video and doing the audio podcast at the same time. It's a lot of work, very tedious work, and then trying to make sure that the video quality for you guys is good, even though we're blurry for some unknown reason.
I'm still gonna blame the camera's autofocus.
I am too, and we're going to have to try to figure that out and see what happened there and try to fix that. So next time, it won't happen again.
Hopefully.
Because we're trying lighting and everything like that, trying to get the lighting right, because you can see the green screen back here, because pretty soon this right here, green screen. All right here.
You can kind of see the wrinkles on
Yeah. So we're kind of at this stage of the podcast, we're in the infancy of video and everything, but soon we get everything set up because we're in the works of getting a studio built within the house, and you won't see green screen anymore. You'll just see nothing but natural background.
I don't know, green screen kind of funny though.
It seems like it, but no. We can still get this kind of background with some ideas I have. But enough about that. So we appreciate you guys stopping by and checking out our live video and everything. We look forward to hearing from you guys, either on our social media accounts or our email, which is
crosspromopod@gmail.com.
You know, I'm serving that up for you to just knock it out of the park.
Yeah.
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 A little bit.
A little bit. Yeah.
Anyway.
crosspromopod@gmail.com.
Of course, like I said, you can find us on Instagram, find us on Facebook, TikTok, Threads, Twitch, Twitter, Kick, YouTube, where we're going to be coming up with some more fun stuff on YouTube. Of course, we got the vlog idea for our weight loss, but a few little skits here and there, and then we're going to be putting some of our old TikTok videos on our YouTube channel for you guys to watch at your expense and leisure, of course.
At your own expense.
At your own expense and your own leisure, whenever you feel bored and want to hear our voices. Plus, you can and if you don't have time to just watch us or anything, or if you want to catch up on old episodes, you can find us anywhere you find your podcast. We do have podcasts on Spotify, Amazon Music, and as well as Apple Podcasts, and I do believe we are on iHeartRadio as well. We do have a Patreon page. Once we get that fully up and running, we'll get some tier subscription levels. We do have a merch store, so if you go to our YouTube page, we do have a website link somewhere down here ish, down over here in the description. Click on the link, check out our merch. We got shirts, hats, mugs, cups, mouse pads,
mugs and cups,
and more things to come
Isn't that
along.
the same thing though?
Not really.
Technically,
not really.
Like how a mug is a type of cup.
Mug is something you can drink tea or coffee out of. A cup is like alcoholic beverage, water, soda. Which I can't drink anymore. No more soda.
It's just like the catch-all, sort of.
Pretty much. You got it. But you can find us there. And, of course, we'd like to hear from you guys what your thoughts are on for the past, for NXT, for Raw, for Dynamite. Tomorrow night we'll be here for TNA's Impact. So we'll be covering that and going over anything in the news as well. And get to hear our thoughts and about anything going on in wrestling, because we're wrestling fans. What are you going to do? So with that being said, go ahead and head on out of here. So we'll see you guys tomorrow night. We'll be here tomorrow night live, and again we'll be on Kick, YouTube, Twitch, and tonight we were supposed to be on Instagram, but something had happened with the streaming there on Instagram, but we'll get that fixed. And then, of course, we're definitely going to get the camera fixed. That way you guys aren't seeing blurry picture and... Blurry. Quit it. Just quit it.
Barry?
No. Stop it. All right. Well, for the Cross Promo Show, I'm Kevin.
I'm Chris.
We gone.